When Neo entered the construct for the first time, Morpheus showed him the world as it was, a world destroyed by war. According to Morpheus, this war arose after the first true AI was created and gave birth to an entire generation of machines. But are programs like the Ancients, the Oracle, and the Merovingians self-aware? Did the machines manage to be humanity's equal, or do they follow pre-established parameters and are not sentient? Today we're going to analyze if the machines from the Matrix have consciousness. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
To understand if the machines in the Matrix are conscious, we must know how consciousness is defined. In general terms, consciousness is defined as the knowledge that a being has for himself and his surroundings. It can also refer to morality or the normal reception of internal and external stimuli by an organism. For some people, consciousness is experience. The more experience you have, the more conscious you are. The fewer experience you have, the less conscious you are. Humans would be fully conscious because they can experience and understand everything around them. But an organism like a plant would have a much lower level of consciousness because although it is subject to different experiences, it cannot understand them. For other people, consciousness is freedom. The freedom to understand ourselves and make decisions around those experiences. If human consciousness is based on the understanding of ourselves, of exterior factors, and have freedom over our actions, then the machines of the Matrix do not have consciousness, but rather have a programming that mimics consciousness. Take for example, Agent Smith. His purpose was to protect the Matrix, remove threats and fix bugs to maintain the appearance of reality in the simulation. His confrontation with Neo was inevitable.
It is inevitable.
Smith doesn't understand freedom because he has a predetermined purpose. He operates under parameters written by the architect. The agent must follow those rules. Smith works like a microwave, which has a purpose of heating food once it's activated. However, unlike a microwave, Smith could experience emotions. When Smith mentions his disgust for humanity, he demonstrated the development of what we call consciousness beyond his programming.
I hate this place, this zoo, this prison, this reality.
This means that the Matrix programs function as the artificial intelligence of today. They have no consciousness when they are created. It is a process they must undergo. As we've mentioned, human consciousness is based on experiences or perceptions. It is for this reason that Smith cuts himself when he possesses a human in the real world. He is applying that consciousness. He is feeling, yet he cannot evade his nature. Smith was grateful to Neo for freeing him, but he resented him for stealing his purpose.
We are here because of you, Mr. Anderson. We're here to take from you what you tried to take from us. Purpose.
When they clashed, Smith tells Neo that the purpose of life is for it to end.
Purpose of life is to end.
Although Smith was freed from his initial protocols, his programming needs a clear purpose or goal to function. This showed that even though Smith had a certain degree of consciousness, he continued to function like a machine. But then if Smith's nature demonstrated that he had no consciousness, and he continued to act like a robot, why did he continue seeking a purpose? Neo also acted like a robot during the movies, showing no consciousness and appearing to be programmed for a single purpose, leading us to wonder if he was conscious or was simply a puppet of the Oracle and the Architect. That is until the end when he fights Smith. Neo understood that he shouldn't fight, that he shouldn't be the one, he shouldn't expect anything. Neo simply decided to live in the now. This act, which was defined by the Wachowskis as Satori or enlightenment, is what separates Neo as a human from Smith. Smith cannot understand Neo's actions because for him, everything must have a purpose. Everything created by the machines must have a purpose. In the case of humans, the purpose of consciousness is to simply exist. and that's the conclusion that Neo arrived at. There is no objective purpose. There is no clear goal beyond existing in the moment. Neo does not need a predefined purpose because he is a conscious being, and consciousness is based on experiences, not goals. In the end, we can see Smith as a program that experienced consciousness to a certain degree, but failed to achieve what true human consciousness is. But is this the fate of all the Matrix programs? Ramachandra told the Neo that he loved his daughter, and that love was just a word.
I just have never heard a program speak of love. It is a human emotion. No, it is a word. What matters is the connection the word implies.
For Neo, love is much more than the simple definition that Rama gave him. Perhaps Rama is simply imitating the feeling of love. Or maybe he is experiencing it. What is most important to Rama and his wife Kamala is their daughter, Sati. What differentiates a machine from a human is that machines have a defined purpose. A machine is created with a goal in mind. Humans are not. The human is the one who decides their goal. They can even decide to have no goals, which is a demonstration of consciousness. It is okay not to wish for anything. This proves that we are human. However, a purposeless machine is simply incoherent. Sati was the first program without a purpose.
I love my daughter very much, but where we are from, that is not enough. Every program that is created must have a purpose. If it does not, it is deleted.
She was born out of love and is being taught how to love by the Oracle.
Cookies need love like everything does.
Sati created the sunrise in honor of Neo, showing some creativity, a purely emotional response with no objective purpose behind it. Based on our analysis, Sati is the first conscious program not only because she has no purpose, but she can choose not to have a purpose. She can simply exist and experience life, something that Smith could never understand. Sati is a prime example of what it is to be self-aware, not to be tied down by a purpose, and finding your place in the world through life experiences. This is a fairly extensive subject with many nuances. Trying to deduce who is or is not conscious in the Matrix is quite complicated. But do you agree? Do the machines of the Matrix have consciousness, or do they simply emulate having consciousness? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.